When they're drilling, you see that stuff flying everywhere, and they're breathing it in.
And it's smelly. It's just bad stuff. It'll eat through plastic. This is horrible stuff.
And there's many studies that are done that, and there's evidence, scientific evidence that shows that in the long term, they have negative effects on our health.
I think I own at least 30 different bottles of nail polish.
Oh, I have a lot of colors too. I usually just wear like 3 that I really, really love that like over and over again. I paint my nails like twice a week.
Twice a week?
Yeah, like once a month if I get around to it.
I just paint my nails whenever I'm tempted to bite them.
Yeah. Me too. I have a terrible tendency of like ripping them off and biting them.
Yeah.
Last week I painted them like every day because I was doing so well, and then I ripped them all off.
It's kind of an escape from reality for them because their lives are all busy, and they can come and have somebody kind of just like pamper them. They don't have to do anything. They just sit there.
I paint my nails for a fashion statement.
Paint my nails because it's fun. I don't know. I like to paint my nails. I don't really have a reason. They don't need to match my clothes.
Some of the key ingredients found in nail polish are dibutylphthalate. You have toluene, which is really a solvent that makes it into solution, suspension. And you also have formaldehyde, which can also be toxic too.
The hardeners that are in nail products, like nail polish hardens. The acrylic nails. Acrylic is horrible because it's a really, really thick dust. So it's much more abrasive to your airways.
I think the chemical is probably not the best, but it doesn't bother me because I try not to use it as much and try to like not have to use it, but if I do use it, it doesn't bother me so much.
It's less concerned that it's in a group of chemicals that resemble other chemicals in our bodies that promote growth or inhibit growth, or are part of the processes that lead to growth in the body. So if you bring in a chemical that's telling the body, okay, it's time to start a certain process in the body, then when it's not needed, then that can be a problem for development.
Anyone's actually had their nails done and they're sitting there, you're like, I have a headache when I leave a nail salon a lot because just of the smells are so strong, you know? So I'm sure it's doing some sort of damage.
I mean, it doesn't really faze me putting it on my nails though. I don't know why. It's just like something you do. I don't know, it doesn't really bother me.
Exposure to some of the chemicals in nail polish can pose a danger to growing fetus. So for example, pregnant women should not be exposed to nail polish or some of those chemicals, because when they inhale them, then they can affect the growth of the fetus in the body.
If it were really bad for my fingernails, it would have had an effect on them by now. So I'm not too worried about that.
The reason you need the solvents, say like toluene for example, is because the materials used to make nail polish, it's shiny, it's more oil-like, so it has to be dissolved in solvents that look more oil-like, which is why I use toluene, and then they evaporate. Okay, so I think the alternatives that they have now is the water-based ones, and it's very simple science, so to speak.
I feel like I've heard of that before. I feel like it really would not work because, like I've said before, the hardeners in the nail polish are like the glue that holds the whole thing together, and without that, if it was a water-based, I just don't think that they would work.
I mean, water-based paint starts with a resin. You know, it's typically latex resins.
Instead of making them complete into solution, it's like mixing oil in water. They form little droplets in the water. And these are really tiny, millions, like tiny, tiny small droplets. They do add soap, a little soap-like material. So that means your little droplets in the oil will not break down, they'll stay suspended. So when the water evaporates slowly, then those oils will come together and form the little polymer which is shiny. And that's because it's water-based, then it's safe to use that way.
Biggest significance of water-based paint is it's not toxic. You know, you could actually eat it if you wanted to. There's no smell to it. It doesn't make you nauseous. If you get it on something, your clothes, you can wash it off with hot water. You can rinse it down the drain. You don't have to worry about it getting in your your waterways. Like if you took 10,000 gallons of nail polish and poured it into a pond, it would kill everything in there. It took years to develop a good formula. It didn't really start taking off. We didn't have a good formula till probably 4 years ago, and I've been in this for 12 now, so it took all of about 7 or 8 years to get a formula good enough. It's something I fell into. I didn't grow up saying I want to make nail polish when I get older. Once we got a good formula that worked well, I've been growing. It's been about 30% a year for the past 3 or 4 years, so it's going really, really well. I make it in drums, and I ship that down to a packager, and then they're the ones that pull it out of the drums and fill it in the bottles and pack it out for the customers to take so that they can put it on their shelves or sell it over the internet.
These of chemicals, they are very helpful chemicals in many ways, materials we have, but when they are not used in the right place, then that's going to affect our health. So it's important to find processes that can preserve our environment as we found it.
I think it will be a slow process, and there will always be people that resist it. So I think that as many people that can jump on the bandwagon and start making an effort and just making small changes like that, it will make a difference. I think for the beauty industry, it's going to be hard to ever go totally that way unless we get some really awesome scientists to figure out how to make all of the products that we use, all the color and everything, completely organic.
At first, we had some formulas that didn't work real well, but we thought consumers would want it just because it has so many benefits. Even if it only lasts a day or two, someone could paint their nails or look nice to go out or whatever, and then, but it turns out women were more picky than that. They want to save the environment, but they really want their nails to look nice. So it seemed like that it wasn't a good trade-off for them. So, but once we got the wear up to 4, 5, 6 days, then it really started to take off.
I think people would definitely embrace it if everyone always they need to see something prove itself. So you couldn't just try it out because it's eco-friendly. Unfortunately, I don't think that's enough for people in our society to change their ways when it comes to their vanity.
My parents would always tell me that whenever I use nail polish remover, if I spilled it, it would burn a hole through the ground and burn a hole through the wood. So I guess, I don't know if it's true. I mean,
it looks like it's eating up the plate, and it's gross.
It seems to be eating it away.
This is so cool. It's eating it.
It's eating away the styrofoam.
It's acidic. Is it acidic?
That really bothers me now.
Huh. That's a bit more pungent.
Yes, it's gonna eat my nails.
It's pretty crazy. I didn't know it did that. I thought it would just
it's shocking.
I thought it was just a fume. I didn't know it had effects like that.
What is the base for these, generally speaking?
The water-based ones, you not smell those chemicals. And some people, if you walk to a newly painted house using some of the paints, there's some people who just get unwell from that smell. The water-based ones will not do that because they're based water. That thing, water is sustainable, you can use it forever. You don't need to mine it, do anything.
It smells like, that smells like it has a chemical in it, and it just smells like a product, like a paint.
It smells like an art room.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like nail polish.
The more that we sell, even if other water-based manufacturers get into the business, the better it'll be. I don't think I'm a big enough part of the market now that I'm making much of an impact, but at least it's getting out there, and hopefully as the years go by, it'll switch over. And I'd like to see eventually the entire industry switch over to water-based. It's the technology's there to make water-based paint as good as the solvent-based.
We can use the same technology just different mindset, and we'll still be able to live more healthy and preserve our environment.
You know, I wish people would. You have to make a sacrifice, is the bottom line. There's a lot of times, especially when new products come out, they may not be as good as the ones that are out there now, you know, but they're more environmentally friendly. So, you know, in order to help these companies, you might have to sacrifice some of the properties you're used to just to, you know, to help the environment, and that's a sacrifice. At least it doesn't seem that Americans are ready to make.
Now that I know this information, it makes me not want to paint my nails at all. But water-based paint is probably the way to go.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Well, I hadn't ever really had a particular preference prior, but I think I'll be focusing on water-based from now forward. So you've got a believer in me.
3 main factors that would make people be more supportive of eco-sustainability would be, firstly, to make sure that all the different products that they use are effective, because I think that's an issue right now. Also, I think price-wise affordable, because they are much more expensive a lot of times. And thirdly, I think they might need to change their marketing tactics, because right now I feel like eco-friendly, green, I think they market a lot towards like a younger demographic, like not necessarily younger, but like 40 and under. I think they should probably start focusing more on people. There's people with the money anyway, people over 40, so they should focus more on people that can afford to buy their products.
I think as people understand more the science of it, and the message gets accepted, you know, just like what you are doing, making awareness, then I think we should see that change, that moving from just doing things the old way to the more friendly ways.
Yeah, I don't see things going well right now. Yeah, you know, it seems like it's too little too late. But there's, you know, gotta hope. Yeah.